me about it. Come on, let's talk about it. Change up the things you see. Open your mind to possibilities. Find your power, passion, and your purpose. You know it's time for you to walk in greatness. Let's murder mediocrity. Slay your goals, live out your dreams. Right now. Inspirational perspective.
Man, was I waiting for the opportunity to share what I want to share today. This is one of those shows you definitely want to listen to. You definitely want to stay tuned into. No matter what it is you got, I'm like, man, cancel it. Like, cancel this one. I'm going to tell you something. I'm learning more and more. There are a lot of people who talk about success, but I'm beginning to question how deeply you desire it. Whatever that success looks like for you. Whatever that success looks like for you, how deeply, deeply, deeply do you desire it? And let me give you some examples of what I mean before I go on today's topic, which is how we relate to money. How we relate to money. And I'm going to say something. I believe I can get through everything I want to say in one show. And I believe that if you really, I shared the 4-part series, the 12 universal laws. So if you understanding and applying the 12 universal laws. So if you haven't checked that out, all 4 of the series, the compilations from those series are now on YouTube at Linnell Harris. So go check them out. Make sure that you subscribe so you can catch all the rest of the shows in the future. Make sure you subscribe to that, and make sure that you listen at a minimum to series part 1 and 2. In particular, when I talk about the law of vibration, because what I'm going to share today is part of how I made my own transition. But I also really want to support whoever I can today. If it's just one person, I believe that this show will shift. How you relate to money in a tangible way. When I say tangible way, like you'll begin to see the results in your life. And here's the thing. I think all too often we believe that these things take a significant amount of time, which is why it takes a significant amount of time. Some time ago, Justin, if you remember, I asked you and Ade about your specific goals, where you want to go. And I believe it was Ade who shared, well, that will come 15 years from now, right? And if you believe that, then that's when it will come, right? Or you can say, man, this is going to happen for me within a matter of months, within a matter of weeks, and that will come. But I want to share today, man, how we relate to money. Let me tell you where this came from before I go into it. And then let me just say this. I'm going to say this multiple times throughout the day. Stick with me. The only thing that I want to sell, and you guys know I don't come on the airwaves selling on a regular basis. Every now and then, I think probably, once or twice a year I might do that. 3 or 4 times a year out of 52 weeks. All right. I'm not doing that today. The only thing that I want to sell you throughout the course of this show is how you can make yourself better mentally, emotionally. This will translate to your health and well-being, but ultimately financially. If you're down for that, the only cost of today's show is your attention. That's it. And I know that's expensive. Oh, do I know how expensive your attention is? All right. And so it's up to you. Ask yourself, man, if you've been listening to Linnell Harris over the course of I've been on the air now for 10 years. 10 years, hundreds of lives transformed, hundreds of clients, thousands of coaching hours. God only knows how many books. How many books I put away. God only knows how many hours and hours of video and resource that I've watched and studied and watched again and studied, so I can get to the point where what I want to teach today, I believe, will significantly shift how you show up. Now, here's what I do know. That if you have right now a program running that is a failure program, and I hate to say, let me say this, I hate to say that 95% of us are running failure programs. I hate to say it, but I'm going to tell you something. This is true. Let me give you a perfect example of what I mean in terms of 95% of us are running failure programs. I could say throughout the course of, I could say it right now, like, hey, if you listen to this entire show, then I can guarantee you will be a millionaire, right? I can say that. Because many of us are running failure programs, we'll be like, and disconnect because of that. Now, think about that. Think about that. We say, okay, here we go. This guy's he's selling snake oil. And we'll disconnect versus saying, wait a second. I believe that I have the mental fortitude, the emotional fitness, and the programming that if he provides a formula that will significantly shift my finances, I can follow it. I must listen, right? Maybe 5%. I hate to say it. Maybe 5% will say, I'm locked in. And that's part of the failure programming. Now, let me say this real quick. Let me give you an example of what I mean right away. When you look at a computer program that is running an operating system, almost every time, just take your cell phone, for instance. Take your cell phone. Whenever you have to do an upgrade on your cell phone, what the cell phone automatically does, what the operating of the cell phone system automatically does, is doing the update process. It deletes the previous program. It deletes the previous program because this program, based on the upgrades, will no longer serve us, will no longer serve the phone or the update that you look to have. So it deletes all of the old information. It'll leave you pictures and videos and stuff like that, right? But in terms of the operating system, it deletes that, and then it uploads a new operating system that often when you look at the updates for the iPhone or whatever it is, it'd be like, this one is debugging X, Y, and Z. It's upgrading these different softwares so that way the phone can run more effectively and efficiently. Now, what I'd like to do today, with your permission, is support you with deleting an old program. Okay? Deleting an old money program and uploading a new one. And it's going to take some time. And all I'm asking is for a little time, right? I mean, am I right that if you're uploading something new to your phone, for just that little while, you can't scroll Instagram. You got to say, I know this upload is going to make my phone, so I'm willing to forego the use of my phone for this period of time. All I'm saying is, what I would like to do is support you in deleting an old program. Now, you got to be willing. Deleting an old program, subconscious programming, and uploading a new one. Do you have an empowered relationship with money? With money. Ask yourself that question. Do you have an empowered relationship with money? When it comes to money, what is your automatic way of being? Because then that is your programming. And what it will take is uninstalling your current way of being and reinstalling a new operating system if you intend to get wealthy. Justin and I were talking. Big shout out to the technical producer. Appreciate you, brother. All the work you do. Early on a Sunday morning. Justin and I were talking right before the show. It's like, I got to make some changes. Right? Got to make some changes. I said, hey, brother, this show is for you. Like, I promise you, Justin, if you can give this show your attention, like, that's heavy costs, right? If you can give this show your attention, it's going to make a difference. Now, most of us were born in the United States of America. Okay? And what that means is that we are running the current American mental operating system. It has been programmed into your subconscious mind via the cartoons you watched on Saturday mornings when you were a little one, right? All the way to the commercials that you consume today. They are running a very clear operating system. The current American operating system is a system that says that you must be sick. Don't believe me? Turn on TV. You'll see the commercials that has all the cures. Oh, I'm sorry, not the cures, but the medicine that you'll have to buy for the rest of your life to make you feel better. Okay? All right, so they programmed you to be sick so they could sell you something to sustain your sickness over a longer period of time with less suffering. Quote, unquote. We don't know if that's true. Here's the other thing that the American operating system has taught us. To be broke. Oh, Linnell, I'm not broke. I make good money. 42% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck, including 25% of those earning more than $100,000 a year. Oh, I'm fired up. I already told you, man, it's been like a month and a half since I had the opportunity to teach. I just been looking at the notes. You know how a ravenous dog looks at a meal? Oh, yes. You know, like, hey, man, I've been like, I can't wait. My wife, like, you know, I want to go on vacation. Let's leave Saturday. Can't leave Saturday. We can leave Monday, but I got to teach. I'm just letting you know, man, share this post on Facebook. Start calling your friends. I want to make a difference. Okay? Now, the American operating system has uploaded into your subconscious programming to be broke. I.e., the data says almost half of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck, including those of you that make over six figures. 25% of you making over six figures, you're making paycheck to paycheck. 30% of Americans have less than $1,000 in their savings accounts. Think about that. And have less than 1 month's income saved. Because somebody said, I'm not living the paycheck to paycheck. I'm good. Okay, you got 1 month of income saved. Hey, and I'm being facetious. I really want us to get this. Because in order for us to erase the old programming, like, you got to be like, okay, I'm ready to let go. I'm ready to let go. The personal savings rate of most Americans is just 4%. Think about that. What's 4% of $100,000? It's $4,000. So if you make $100,000, you might put away $4,000. Let's think. I mean, like, let's just be with it. You might put away $4,000. But if you're making $1,000 a week, that means only 40 is going somewhere. Now, I'm not going to even talk about the households in America that don't have a bank account, checking account. But what hurts me the most is I believe that it's people that look like me. It's people from my community, mostly. Well, maybe not mostly. Maybe not mostly. But you get my point, right? We're struggling with that. That's why all the money exchange corner centers, currency exchange centers are in our neighborhoods. What currency are you exchanging, really? It's not foreign currency. So why they call it a currency exchange? Because they're taking the money that you can't cash and charging you for something that could be done free with a checking account, right? But why would somebody do that? Because they have a subconscious programming that is basically pushing them to be broke. And here's the thing, right? Then the other part of the program is not just for us to be sick, not just for us to be broke, but also for us to be scared. So I got you broke and scared. I got you broke, sick, and scared. This is the American operating system. Having a conversation, my Slayer Goals members, I say this with all, like, man, I got off Thursday night. We had a conversation, and I got off, and I was just like, man, my heart was so heavy because I work with one of the members, and they set a goal, which is, by the way, everything takes place in stages, but they set a goal to get a temp position in an organization. And initially, when I was in the conversation, like, part of me was like, no, you can get a permanent job. Like, you can get a permanent job, right? But that's my belief. That's my programming. The other part of me has said, no, you could double down as an entrepreneur and make all the money that you need to make. But that's my programming, right? And I can't just, I wish I could just, inoculate everybody like they did when they didn't get everybody in 2020, 2021 with a certain way of thinking. I wish I could just, but that's, sometimes it takes a little more than that. But that was the goal. And to that individual, with all love, if they're listening, that's a broke goal. But a broke goal comes from broke programming. And by the way, I'm thinking this while it's going on. I'm like, it's the island now. Be patient. There's levels. Be patient. There's levels. Right? Because I start to go there. I'm like, no, be patient. There's levels. And I want to teach on those levels today. The American programming is teaching you to be sick, broke, scared, and misinformed. Did you all know that the government has finally released and confirmed that there are truly aliens living among us? No, for real. This is what the government, this is what they said over the course of this past week. And then people said, ooh, he said it under oath, as if the government has never lied to us. And I'm often confounded, especially by my brothers and sisters who've been lied to so much, who so quickly trust the government. Let me ask a question. Justin, turn on your mic. I just want to ask a very simple question. Just a regular question to another human being, because sometimes my wife says that I think differently, but I think in this case that many of us will think the same. I think many of us will think the same. Justin, if over the course of our relationship, how long have we known each other?
For about 2 years now.
About 2 years. Over the course of our relationship, if I lied to you, let's just say 3 times. Only 3 times. No. Let's lower it. If I gave you significant lies twice, once every year, not much. I don't lie to you much, right? But I was lying, right? If I did it to you twice, And then I came to you and said, Justin, you gotta believe me. You must believe me. How quickly would you believe me without proof?
Wouldn't be very quick.
It was only twice that I lied to you, though.
But you still lied.
But I still lied. But what if I said, hey, I got an expert. They don't have proof, but I have an expert who has a title, right? And he's saying the same thing. Would you still believe me?
Immediately, yes.
You see, them titles are tricky, man. You see what just happened? Right, so I lie to you, but here's an expert, quote, unquote, that he should know. But mind you, I typically lie when I put things in front of you. And what if I used an expert to lie to you before, the other 2 times? Would you believe me the third?
Nah.
Okay. So why do we trust what we hear so complicitly, so quickly, without proof? I don't care who it is, how many doctorates they have, how many consonants they have behind their name. Show me. Show. If you want to talk about it, right? If you want to talk about it, show me. Show me. I'm waiting. Give me the proof. Proof. I need it. I need it. I need it. Somebody on Facebook just said, Pat said, when I heard about this alien stuff, I said, I wonder what they are trying to distract us from now. Yourself and your business, ultimately. Now, let me go here. So the current American operating system wants you, is asking you, is looking for you, right? Is programming you to be sick, broke, scared, and misinformed. This is part of the misinformation. Misinformed. And this is a covert program that they're uploading. This is why you have to be careful what you watch, what you listen to. I always say that inputs become outputs. Step number 1 to completely changing your financial programming is you have to get incredibly intentional with your inputs. Inputs create outputs. And the inputs of the American operating system is that of illness, brokenness, fear, and disinformation. So now that we understand that, first step is you got to be willing to unplug. Let me be clear about something. Wealth is spiritual. Guess what else is spiritual? See, this is where it shows up. I told you, you might have to listen to the show a few times, right? Wealth is spiritual. Guess what else is spiritual? Language is spiritual. Faith is spiritual. Language. What are you thinking? What are you saying? What are you thinking? What are you saying? What are you thinking? What are you saying? And then what do you believe? Because what you think, what you say, what you believe creates an emotional experience, energy, emotion that impacts your frequency that then begins to create your spiritual reality. And the spiritual reality that many of us are not creating is wealth. So then what are you creating? So then part of this is you have to sit down and assess your current spiritual way of being when it comes to money. And most of us are spiritually broke, which is why we are physically broke. I'm going somewhere, I promise. Let me back up a little bit. This is how I was supposed to start. But just stick with me today, because the only thing I want to sell you over the course of this show is how you can make yourself better mentally, emotionally, and financially. I promise you that. And the cost of this program today is your attention. That's it. And I know that's expensive. Let's start with gratitude. Right now, as you listen to me, I want you to place in your mind something that you are incredibly grateful for. And breathe that in. Thank the Creator for the gift that He is giving you. Somebody right now is saying, Linnell, you don't understand my circumstance. I have nothing, absolutely nothing that I can be grateful for. Absolutely nothing. I feel disconnected from the Creator. I even wonder if He's on my side. Sometimes I wonder if He exists. Here's what I have to say to you. If you can bend down and touch your toes, if you can bend your knees, if you can turn your waist, if you can open and close your hands, if you can wiggle your toes, if you can open your eyes, then be grateful for that, because you got a better current lying circumstance than many people on the globe. Be grateful for that. And just absorb that gratitude. Now, let me tell you something that gratitude does. Did you know that the practice of gratitude mentally and emotionally impacts your physiology? Did you all know that? Did you know that the practice of gratitude mentally and emotionally impacts your physiology? What is your physiology? Your body. So the combination of that mental gratitude and that emotional experience begins to impact the body. In what way, Linnell? In what way? The heart beats coherently and rhythmically when we are in a state of gratitude. And, hold on. And when it beats this way, it creates a shift in your electromagnetic field. So now let me back up and teach somebody saying electromagnetic field. Some of y'all with me, stay with me if you're with me, but I got to bring them along, okay? Yes, that's right. You are an electrical being. Yes, go look it up. Don't believe me. Go Google it right now. Say, what is this man talking about? Jesus? What is he talking about? Go look it up. Go Google it. Yes, you are an electromagnetic being. You are an electrical being. And because of that, that means that you have a frequency. All electricity runs on some type of frequency. That means you have a frequency. And when you practice gratitude mentally and emotionally, it impacts your physiology because you begin to actually shift your electromagnetic field. And your electromagnetic field can actually be measured by instruments. Do you know that a person who has a high frequency can have an electromagnetic field that emanates out from them 3 meters? Think about that. Which means that my energy right now can be impacting you, Justin, as you sit over there. Just my physical energy. This is why you don't like to be around certain people and you like to be around certain people. That person's like, man, every time I go, it's like, oh, I just feel some kind of way. You know, hey, you ever been here before? My wife would say, well, you know, so-and-so is having something at their house. I go, It disrupts my energy thinking about being in a space. Babe, I don't know. Hey, it might cost too much to go over there. It might cost too much. Linnell, they family. It might cost too much to go over there. I'm telling you right now, text your friends, text your family. I'm not playing today. Let's make a difference. So your heart beats coherently and rhythmically when you're in a state of gratitude, which creates an electromagnetic field that sends out your vibration and frequency of gratitude. Step 2, to shifting your financial state. This is measurable. check it. Don't trust me. Check it. Now, did you know that when you think stressful thoughts, when you obsess about your stressors and problems, that your heart shifts to an irregular beat? Your heart literally shifts to an irregular beat. So for those of you who worry a lot, I say, well, you shouldn't worry. Well, you don't understand what's going on for me. I got a lot happening. I'm just, and some of us are just given to worry. Why are you given to worry? Because that's the program that you've been given by the American operating system. Like I said, the American operating system has programmed you to be sick, broke, scared. What is scared? I'm worried. And misinformed. And you're worrying about things that they lied to you about. They're keeping you in a cycle. Because somebody's worried about them aliens, let me tell you. You better be worried about humans. That's who I'm watching. I'm watching sick, broke, scared, misinformed humans. I ain't worried about no aliens. I ain't worried about them either. I ain't worried about the humans either. I'm not giving that energy. Language is spiritual. Faith is spiritual. Wealth is spiritual. And most of us are broke because we're spiritually broken. Do you have an empowered relationship with money? But then let's not just take it there, because in order for you to have an empowered relationship with money, do you realize that you likely have to have an empowered relationship with yourself? Uh-oh. See, because I got to have a good relationship with myself, a good frequency that I'm proud of, a good frequency that I emanate, a good frequency that other people want to be around. Because if people are attracted to me, it's likely that money will be attracted to me as well. See, most of us, we get mixed up. We think that attractiveness is about our physical being. No, sir. No, sir. That's just an outward expression of the physical dimension. Attractiveness has a lot to do with your spiritual being. That's why you don't want to go to your cousin's house that makes you sad. And guess what? She might be attractive. He might be attractive, but it's that spiritual unattractiveness that you don't like being around. Y'all follow what I'm saying today? Like, it is time for us to uninstall the American operating system so we can reinstall a new success operating system. And here's the thing about the American operating system. If you are black like me, Father Flake always laughs at me because I say brown like me. Shout out to you. But, hey, if you brown like me, because that's what we are, brown, right? If you brown like me and you look like me, then one of the things that the American operating system does is that it basically teaches you that black is inferior. So then the other thing that you have to overcome is the subconscious programming that you are inferior because of your skin color. Something else you got to, let me tell you something. And I know it runs because every now and then when I'm moving around in the world in my wealthy way, because I am wealthy, because I have health, I got love, and the Lord has blessed me with money. Okay? So then when you move that way and the others look at you, sometimes they get confused because it's not supposed to be that way. Is that him getting out of that vehicle? Why does he walk like that? Why does he look like that? Look at his children. They look happy. They look disciplined. They're confused. They're like, oh, this doesn't align with the American operating system. And the reason I'm living a life outside the American operating system is because I uninstalled that system years ago. It wasn't working for me. You know what I did on that system religiously? Procrastinate. Stay distracted. Typically worry. And I was broke. And that system wasn't working for me. So I had to it's time to upload a new system. one of the things I've learned over the course of like just diving, like really immersing myself from the time I was 22 to now, 46 years old, I'll be 47 next month. So over the last 25 years, 2.5 decades, I've immersed myself in self-development. I've read thousands and thousands of books, listened to hours and hours of audio and watched video on these subjects, okay? Which then has led me to support hundreds and hundreds of people for thousands and thousands of hours of coaching. Here's what I've learned. That almost everything that supports us is counterintuitive to our operating system, to what it is that we would normally do. For example, many of us are addicted to worry and addicted to fear, so much so that when I tell you to abandon it, it almost makes you even more worried, even more fearful of what you might miss, what you might not be thinking about. So let me just ask you this. Since when has your worry and fear actually solved whatever it is that you were facing? When is the last time it actually solved it? Because here's the thing, all it's going to do, I promise you what I know, all it's going to do is attract more to worry about and more to be afraid of. So then when we shift to this way of thinking in terms of gratitude, right, step number one, it shifts our frequency. And this is measurable because we are electrical beings. One of the things that's coming out now, people talking about grounding. Right now, I've been knowing about grounding for years. That's why I walk around whenever I can barefoot. But a lot of people are figuring it out. Oh, man, we're electrical beings. You know, the earth has a negative charge. If I ground 15 to 20 minutes a day, it can reduce my inflammation, make me healthy. Did you know that 3 to 4 minutes of grateful energy can improve the immune system by 50%? Let me say that again. Did you know that a practice just daily of bringing in 3 to 4 minutes of gratitude energy will improve the immune system by 50%? Now, here's the thing. Don't trust me on it. You might have to DuckDuckGo this. People don't know about that search engine. See, because Google has been blocking certain things. Or what they do is they make it difficult for you to get now, right? In this disinformation age, they don't want you to have this information. So you might have to go to DuckDuckGo. You might have to go to Rumble. You might have to go somewhere, you know, off the beaten path. But what I'm telling you is true. I'm telling you. Money is an illusion. Now let me break down for you why I know this. Money is an illusion. The reason money is an illusion because did you know it costs more money to make a penny than a $100 bill? Think about that. Now that doesn't make sense now, does it? It costs more money to make a penny than it does a $100 bill. Now, then what gives the $100 bill its value? One of the things we talked about before is that language is spiritual. So it says that it's $100, right? And the penny, even though it costs more, it says that it's 1 cent. What are you saying to yourself? Hey, what this morning are you saying to yourself? See, because here's the thing. You could be a child of God, but if you're not saying that to yourself, if you're saying I'm only worth 1 cent, you can be a $100 bill that's worth a lot less, only because you said it. Only because you said it. Is this, y'all getting this? Are you getting this? Let me see if there's another way for me to break this down. I really want to make sure we get this morning. Like I got to get this out of me. So if it costs more money to make a penny than it costs to make a $100 bill, but the $100 bill is more valuable because it says so, because it says so, but then it's not just that. It's not just the language, because remember, language is spiritual, but then it's also because we believe it. Faith is spiritual. We believe it. We believe it. I don't want that penny, Linnell. Give me the $100 bill. Right now, if I said, well, then, this right here costs more to make than this right here, which one do you want? You would take the $100 bill. Why? Because of what it says and because of what you believe. It has nothing to do with the so-called physical value. This is how I know wealth is spiritual. Woo! I hope you might have to listen to this again. You might have to listen to this show again. I hope you get it. I hope you get it. I hope you get it. Now, if that is true, right? Like, because I always say, don't believe me. If that is true, then where are you spiritually? See, this is, how you relate to money ain't just how you relate to money. It's also part of your spiritual walk. And this is why they got so much spiritual stuff going on right now. Oh, man. It's in the music. Oh, it's in the concerts you go to, playing, like visually in the background. I saw something on Instagram. This guy was saying, hey, look at the visuals from this concert. And you tell me what you think. And then he just paused and the video played. And they had some demonic looking character. And it was going like this. For those of you on Facebook, it was going like this and going like that. It was pulling something away, going like that. Now, I don't know about you, but if I was in a building with something like that I could see was pulling things away, I'm running out. I'm running out. Why? Because I understand how important the spiritual aspect of everything in my life is. Everything in my life. Right? So then you say, well, how do we relate to money? How do I relate to money? You got to start thinking spiritually. And see, this is the thing. Most of us don't want to think about that. This kind of just, that makes me, Linnell, when you talk about things of spirituality, it gives me the heebie-jeebies. I just want to stay in the physical realm. And if you want to stay in the physical realm, what you're telling me is you want to stay in the poverty realm. Oh. I'm just saying. Hey, this been on me. I got to get it out. Okay, now, why is this happening? Because we have the American operating system. 50% put off major financial decisions. You just put them off. I know we should have life insurance, but I'm going to do it tomorrow. I know I should open a savings account. I'm going to do it tomorrow. I know I should be investing, but I'm going to do it tomorrow. I know I should be saving. I'm going to do it tomorrow. And then get this, 61% of parents feel more comfortable talking about their finances with somebody else other than their adult children. So then we got money stuff. Like we real weird when it comes to money. But why are we weird when it comes to money? We're weird when it comes to money because it's spiritual, and most of us get weird when we talk about spirituality. Hey, I'm telling you. But you in debt, though. But you're struggling, though. And most people struggling with making money, managing money, and the money they earn. And most importantly, most people struggle keeping money. You can't even keep it. So you don't, you already broke. The money you make, you can't keep. How you going to tell me this ain't spiritual? Everything that's playing out for you financially right now is connected to your internal money story. Your internal money story. Linnell, what's that? Linnell, what is that? This is the little silent story that you tell yourself that you don't even hardly hear when it comes to your money. When it comes to your money. And I ain't even got to the real good stuff yet. T. Harv Eker, in his book, The Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, said that we all have received some type of verbal programming around money. So what did you learn about money when you were young? So you can see we got to go back and we got to think about this. What did you learn about money when you were young? I know one of the things that I learned the money is the root of all evil. And I don't want to be evil, Jesus. So I guess I got to be broke. See, and you might not be actually saying that, but that's the sum equal. That is the sum equal. Do you know that our Jewish and brothers and sisters say it the other way around, that poverty is evil? So think about that framing. Then you wonder why they are where they are financially. It's all about mental framing. Here's the other program, American operating system. Money not only is money. Isn't it funny that in America that you can even say that the root that money is the root of all evil when all this country cares about is money? You should get a ticket for that. That's all this country care about. We know that. We know that. So why are they programming you this way? Because they don't think that way. I can promise you. Why are they programming you this way? Here's the other thing that you learned. You learned this from your parents. Money is hard to come by. So you're running this programming. Here's something else you learned. You got to work real hard for your money. You know what I did years ago to disrupt this? As soon as I left corporate America, I started taking my Monday mornings off. I like to do other stuff. I like to cook a late breakfast, hang out with the family if I can. I don't want to take no meetings, not until noon. I just want to chill because I want to disrupt that programming that you got to work hard for the money. And I'm not telling you don't got to work. Let's be clear. But that hard work needs to translate to smart work. Here's the other thing we learned. There's never enough. There's never enough money. Son, money doesn't grow on trees. We can't afford that. How many times did you hear that? And see, the thing is, when you hear that, that becomes a part of your programming. Becomes a part of your program. I still battle this programming. Sometimes I'll look at something, I say, well, that'd be nice. Oh, but that's a lot of money. And then I want to tell myself I can't afford it, but that's not true because I can't afford it. I got to remember, you can't afford that. You can't have that. Have to remind myself I can afford things sometimes because of that programming. Because the default programming is set to no. 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 You can't have that. You can't afford that. But what if your vibration, your frequency, your thinking was different? I might not be able to get it now, but I will get it. Put a date on it. Shift that. And I'm grateful for everything the Creator has blessed me with right now. Right? I'll just, slip into that gratitude. See, this is the thing that I love about personal development because you can be more, you can have more, you can accomplish more because you can always become more, develop more, and transform more. But you got to be given to it. Are you given to your transformation? Like, does this inspire you in a way where you say, you know what? Everything's got to change right now. See, because if that's not the state of mind that you're in, then I'm going to tell you something. I can make you feel real good right now. You got the tingles. You're inspired. You're motivated. You're going to do something different. But if that doesn't turn into action, if that's not action that comes on Monday, if that's not action that comes on Tuesday, if that's not action that comes on Wednesday, if that's not action that comes on Thursday and Friday when everybody else going out, no, I got to finish this book. Saturday when everybody's on the lake, no, I got things to do. I got a vision. I know where I'm going. I'll join you when it's on my boat. You got to figure it out. It's got to be important. See, and here's the thing. On the flip side, unless you change, you'll always be who you are, and you'll always have what you have, and you might not be able to keep that. Whew. And see, here's the thing. Did you all know that 95% of lottery winners go broke? It ain't the money, it's the mentality. I'm telling you, this thing is spiritual. You can't give somebody who is spiritually broke money and expect them to keep it. Go ahead and get that hill right here. Go ahead and get that hill right here. That's what happens. That's what happens. Because if I don't value myself completely, intrinsically, with every fiber of my being, as a child of God that deserves it, I'm going to figure out how to give it away. It's best that you become a millionaire mentally, emotionally, and spiritually real fast if you want to keep it. Whoo! So here's the thing. Think about it like this. Think about it like this. So then, Coach, in translation, are you telling me that if I can mentally and emotionally and spiritually become a millionaire, that I can't do nothing but attract it? Yes, that's what I'm saying. Because here's the thing. When you see yourself that way, when you operate that way, when you think that way, when you feel that way, hey, the boss just can't talk to you any kind of way. No, sir, I'm a child of God. You got to respect me. You better say, hey, look now. Even if I was wrong, you're not going to talk like that. Why? Because I'm mentally, I'm emotionally, I'm spiritually a millionaire. You just can't talk to me any kind of way. You can't just treat me any kind of way. You know what? Matter of fact, I already know what I need to pray for. Another job, another gig, because I can't be in this place. I can't be in this place. It's time to go. It's time to go. My vibration, my frequency don't flow with y'all no more. So then the fundamental question becomes, of personal development, who am I today and how do I improve? Write that down. Write that down. Who am I today? Who am I today? Who am I right now? And how do I improve that? How do I take that to another level? And I'm going to tell you something. If you're not fundamentally given and obsessed with your personal development, then none of this is going to work. None of it's going to work. I'm obsessed with who I am right now and where I need to be tomorrow. I'm obsessed about that in terms of my health. I'm obsessed with that in terms of my relationship. What kind of husband am I? What kind of father am I? I'm obsessed about it. Who am I today and who do I need to be to make my son legend a true legend? To have him fulfill the full evidence, the full power of his name. Who do I need to be? If you ain't thinking like that, you're distracted. Man, I'm like, come on now. It's your child. It's your blood. It's your DNA. Who do I need to be to take it to the next level financially? Who do I need to be to spread my purpose? Who do I need to be? Who do I need to be to go to another level spiritually? Because if money is spiritual, right? And it ain't just about the money. It's about the spiritual connection. Because one of the things that the spiritual connection brings is peace. And if you don't have peace, that is a evidence that you're disconnected. Because what is God? What is God? God is love. God is love. What is the opposite of love? What is the antithesis of love? Fear. And if you're obsessed with fear, you have to be disconnected. You have to be disconnected. When you're connected, you feel peace. And the beautiful thing about peace, spiritual peace, is that it feels so good you don't want to let go of the connection. And then that begins to improve your character. Well, Lord, I want to stay connected, so I need you to help my character. And there's something about character that drives wealth. See, I think we misunderstand how success works. I promised I was going to talk about success. Watch this. We misunderstand how success works. We think that we're supposed to chase it. That's what they tell us. You're supposed to run after it. I'm going to catch you. You know, I call success a fickle mistress. She's a fickle mistress. You better stop chasing her and chase God. She's fickle. Because if you catch up, as soon as you loosen your grip, she's going to slip away. See, but success is something that comes to you based on who you be and how you develop. So this thing is a personal thing. It's a being thing. Who do you be? Are you obsessed with who you are right now? Are you obsessed? And then how can I go to another level? How can I get better in every facet of my being? This is why I have the framework of the 4 pillars to make it real simple. Health and well-being, relationships and love, work and money, purpose and spirituality, the 4 pillars. You see, here's the thing. Success is something that comes to you based on who you be and how you develop, because success is looking for a good place to stay. See, success doesn't like a negative vibration. That's why she's fickle. Let your vibration shift and she's gone. Let your spiritual connection shift and she's gone. And she'll leave if you stop developing. She'll leave if you stop developing. I was having this conversation with someone this week. One of the fundamental mistakes I see people make all the time, I've seen them make it as a coach, is what will happen. A person will do the work of personal development and transformation. They'll go, let's say 6 months, 9 months, and they'll do this work. I'm going to develop myself. I'm going to shift myself. I'm going to transform myself. And then they'll crawl into the cocoon of transformation. And think about a cocoon. A cocoon is tight. It's uncomfortable. It's not somewhere you really want to be. It's pressing up against you. You know what I mean? It's squeezing you, but it's making you into something magnificent with wings. And so they come out on the other side transformed. And they're so caught up in their beauty that they refuse to ever go in the cocoon again. Think about that. Oh, I'm better now. Bye. You know how many people I've seen do this? Let me give you an example of what I mean. I had a Slayer Goals member years ago. She said, okay, I'm in Slayer Goals, coach, because I want to double my income. I said, okay, you want to double your income? Let's do the work. Over the year we did the work. The sister doubled her income. Those of you who are Slayer Goals members know this to be factual, right? She doubled her income. She went into the cocoon and she was uncomfortable. She would come in front of everybody and get coached. She was uncomfortable. She was in the cocoon. And then she came out the other side with double the income. Beautiful. We all celebrated. It's wonderful. And I told her, I said, now that you doubled your income, you got to go to the next level of transformation. We don't want you to slip right back into the same financial habits where you're living paycheck to paycheck with more money, right? You're not saving with more money, right? We're talking about how we relate to money. We don't want that to happen. You know what she said? Okay. But she'd stop coming. She stopped getting coaching. Because it's good enough. She wasn't saying, okay, here I am now, but what's the next level? Because it's always the next level. Where I am in my relationship with the Creator right now, I know there's another level. What's that level? I want to get uncomfortable again. About a year later, she came back. She said, would you believe that the same financial position I was in before, I'm in now with the same amount, with more money, with double the money? I said, oh, yeah, I know. Because that's how it goes. See, we got to crawl back into the cocoon of transformation. And that's tough to do when your wings are beautiful. I don't want to crinkle my rings. I don't want to wrinkle my wings. Can you see me? It means you got to actually slow down and take a look at Okay, I won, but who am I now? And how do I go to the next level? How do I go to the next level? And this is why personal development has to be a lifetime pursuit. It's not just because you graduated college. It's not just because you got your MBA. It's not just because you got your doctorate. What now? What can you do now? How can you be a better man now? How can you be healthier? How can you be a better husband? How can you be a better wife? How can you be a better father? How can you be a better mother? And see, when we got to work, what we got to work most on is asking ourselves, who am I becoming? Who am I becoming? You know what we ask ourselves most, though? Instead of who am I becoming, we ask, what am I getting? What am I getting? But what do you get matter if you can't keep it? So instead ask, who am I becoming? Write that down. Who am I becoming? And will who I become bring me the success that I intend to create in the future? Because guess what? You are the key to your future. Write that down. I am the key to my future. I am the key to my future. Who are you becoming? Somebody just tuned in and said, hey, man, I thought you was talking about how we relate to money. That's exactly it. Who are you becoming? Now, what I want you to do is I want you to get present to your money story and your relationship you have to money. Get present to your money story. Now, if you're having a hard time doing this, one of the practices I give is I tell people to create a money journey line. Go back to the first time that you ever made money. The first time, Justin, do you remember the first time that you ever made money? Remember the first time you ever made money? The first time that's memorable, you like, what? When was that time? What was that time for you?
I got my first job when I was like 14, and I started making money.
You remember how much money it was?
It was about, I got a check for like about $120-some.
How'd that feel?
Felt amazing.
It felt amazing. Right, my first time, I was about 15 years old. I got a check. I was working for the village I lived in, painting curbs. Got my first check. I remember I had a different strut when I walked home that day. I had a different way of being. But see, here's the thing. I made that money, and then I lost that money, right? And I went on this journey with money. And what I'm saying is, what I want you to do is, if you don't know your story about money, then you need to draft it out. You need to take the time to look at it and say, here's my money journey line. This is the first time I made money, and it was a high. Here's the first time I lost money. And then I made some more money. And then I lost some money. And then what you'll begin to learn is actually who you are when it comes to money. Because remember I said the key to your future is you. See, here's the thing. Most of us are so distracted, we don't know ourselves. We don't know enough about ourselves. And so you say you want money, but you don't even know your own money story. But guess what? You can tell me the unlocked secrets of Hollywood and their money stories. You tell me where's the lie. You tell me where's the lie. Get present to your money story. I want you to create a clear work and money objective that encompasses your possibilities. See, here's the thing. Most of us, we think too small. We think too small. You're thinking based on what you learned through the American operating system that told you that you must be sick, broke, scared, and misinformed. You're thinking that way. You're thinking through the American doctrine of black inferiority, where it says, you can't ever be something. You can't ever have something. And it's time to uninstall those programs. It's time to uninstall those programs. It's time to begin running new programs. How do you run a new program? It's start to get present to the possibility. Get present to what you've achieved with your money already. What are the wins? When you write out that journey list, what were the wins? What were the ups? And then where does the downs come from? I promise you that when you look at it, the downs, some people will say, well, my down happened in 07, 08. My down happened in 2013, coach. Well, what role did you play in that? We like to blame things on the economy. But do you know a lot of people got rich during those periods? By the way, Boozy, it's the American doctrine of black inferiority. Let's be clear. So we got to understand the programming that's going on. Like I shared in the first hour, that doctrine is so strong that when you get successful and you're black, folks don't really get it. They look at you. He must be flossing. He can't afford that. Or they'll look at you and say, he don't belong in that. This don't add up. This don't add up to the program. Now, here's the other thing. You want to get to know who you are in relationship to money? You want to see the spiritual holes? Make a list of how you spend money. Make a list. I challenge you. Make a list. Folks say they don't got money, but watch that list is longer than a page. I don't have no money. Well, that's the reason, because your list is so long that ain't nothing going to be left. Make a list of how you spend money. See what happens. Because how you spend money is how you relate to money. See, your actions always are connected to your relations. What about this? Get present to you and what shows up when money comes into the conversation. Some of us get tense. Whole body get tense. Money coming to the conversation. Get tense. Some of us start sweating. Some of us start sweating. And see, the thing is, whatever relationship you have with money, that's part of your operating system. It's time to uninstall that system and upload another one. How do you upload another one? You got to get serious about your development. It's time to turn off Netflix. It's time to turn off the TV. It's time to turn it all off. Somebody asked me last night, what you doing for the fight? I said, be with my family. And I ain't no shade to anybody, but I mean, man, look, let me tell you something, man. It's just one of them things where your priorities start to shift. Your priorities start to change. It just starts to shift. Things are different. Get present to you. Who are you? What do you need to develop? But more importantly, ask yourself this question. Do you really believe, do you really, really, really believe that you deserve money? I ain't talking about superficially now. I ain't never talked about superficially. Somebody just said on Facebook, I've never heard of this. I have to research the American doctrine of black inferiority. The reason you ain't never heard of it is because I created that. I said that. And you know it to be true. You don't got to look it up. You don't got to look it up. You already know it's running. I did a whole show on it. Go on YouTube and look it up. What is your intention with your money? What is your intention? Your intention drives everything. Notice making money decisions based on how you think others might feel. Ooh-wee. Let me say it again. Notice making money decisions, personal money decisions, based on how you think, your stories and your interpretations of how you spending or how you're deciding will make somebody else feel. ... about you. This is personal, man. Money's a personal thing. A lot of times, money stuff comes down to wanting to be liked and a lack of self-love. That's why we broke and still buying things we can't afford. It's a lack of self-love. And you can't hardly convince. I got a guy that works for me. I told this story before. I'm sitting on my porch with my flip-flops on, and he works for me. He drops off one of the vehicles that's in the fleet, and he walks up to me and he said, "Man, boss, nobody would know you moved the way you move, man." He was looking at how I was dressed. And I said, "Well, it is what it is. It is what it is." Right? Somebody tell Lisa on Facebook, yes. Right? I said, "It is what it is." He said, "Well, I can't move like that. You see these right here?" And I said, "What are those?" He's talking about his shoes. He put his feet out. "You see these right here?" I said, "What are those?" He said, "Man, you don't know what McQueens are?" Now, mind you, I'm gonna be real with you. I had no idea what McQueen was back then. It was a couple of years ago, right? I didn't even know what McQueens were. I said, "Oh, those are McQueens? Now, they look like really ugly shoes to me." Right? I said, "Those don't look attractive." He said, "These are McQueens." I said, "Oh, okay, McQueens, huh?" I said, "How much do McQueens cost?" He said, "These shoes cost $800. And he stood up even straighter. "My shoes cost $800. And I said, "You spent $800 on some shoes and now you working in them?" Now, it don't make good sense, do it? But here's why. Let's go back to what I just said. How many of us make money decisions based on how we think other people may feel? Hold on. I also said that remember that your money stuff has to do with wanting to be liked and a lack of self-love. Let me say something. Y'all listen to me now. How can you love yourself and keep yourself broke making decisions like that? Let me say it again. How can you love yourself and keep yourself broke making decisions like that? It just ain't. It just don't add up. It just don't add up. It don't add up. Remember that your major financial ups and downs are a result of how you relate to other people and their money needs. Most importantly, how you relate to yourself. Watch your mental language about money. Every time you tell yourself you don't have enough, guess what frequency you're sending out? And again, I told you, go watch the series I did on understanding and applying the 12 universal laws, part 1 and 2, around the law of vibration. Every time you say I don't have enough, you're sending out that vibration. Notice what you tell yourself about money. At this point, you know how I think about money? If there's something I see and it's a bit outside my reach, I say, guess what, Linnell? We got to go generate more. We have to manifest more. We have to create more. It's a way of thinking, and this way of thinking you have to drive into yourself with practice, and it requires unplugging and uninstalling the American operating system, because the American operating system will keep you thinking that way. Here's the other thing. It's time for you to lean into your finances. You want to relate to money different? Then relate to it. Most of us lean into it. Most of us avoid our finances from the fear of learning that we have no money. Well, you already know that. So let's see how bad it is. Everything starts with awareness. And then for those of us who have money, many of us, we're not fully, completely sure about retirement. We're not fully, completely sure about where it all sits. If you believe that it takes hard work to make good money, then it will take hard work. I believe it takes smart work. If you believe you can generate good money with ease, it will come with ease, but you got to believe it with every core and fiber of your being. The money in America, think about this, flows freely. Right now, billions of dollars are moving. So why don't you have any? Think it's more so about you than you know. Let me give you some practices. I want you, one, these are things I learned over the years, many books. I'm compiling them, right? They come from people like Ken Honda, T. Harv Eker. I mean, the list goes on and on. But right now, I want you to take a look at the physical money that you have and look at the condition that it's in. Like, is that money respected? How do you relate to money? Is that money respected? Let me give you an example of what I mean. Is that money respected? I learned years ago, you know what? Fold your money. Make sure all the faces are facing the right way, all the same way. Take the time to relate to your money in an organized way, and your money will be organized. I'm telling you all something here. So how do you relate to money? How are you physically handling your money? What is your emotional energy regarding your money? I'm going to close with money affirmations. And then if you have questions, because I didn't take phone calls, you can go to the Facebook feed and put your questions in, and I'll commit to answering them. Okay? Go to the Facebook feed, put your questions in. I'll commit to answering them. You can go to facebook.com/Coach Linnell Harris. That's LINALHARRIS. Here are my money affirmations. I'm going to close with this. I am happy and grateful that I am incredibly successful financially, and I have a healthy, loving relationship with money. I breathe that in, and then I look around for the evidence in my life that I can be grateful for. I just look at it. Yesterday, I was in my backyard. I just took it in. I said, God, I'm so grateful that you put me in such a peaceful place, such a wonderful place. Thank you so much. Thank you for the gifts that you've given me. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. I am happy and grateful. I am so happy and grateful. I'm so happy and grateful that I am incredibly successful financially and I have a healthy, loving relationship with money. Thank you for that. Here's the second one. I am so happy and grateful that I know precisely, with clarity, how much money I want and how much money I need. Right now, I'm having conversations with my coach about the fourth quarter. Because I said, Coach, I think I made enough money this year. And so then how am I supposed to spend the fourth quarter? What is it that I'm supposed to do? That's my prayer right now, right? Because it's not always about, again, I talk about being smart. Maybe there's some investments I can make that will deliver in 2024. Maybe there's some development I need to do that will sustain me. You all get this? I am happy and grateful that I know precisely with clarity how much money I want and how much I need. And do you get that desire? Desire is a fundamental component of the change formula. Some of us are afraid to desire because we're tired of failing. Well, you're failing because you've been running that operating system, that American operating system. It's time to uninstall and time to develop a new one. Hey, my inspired peoples. Linnell Harris here, certified ontological coach and trainer. I'm so excited that you're watching the channel. By the way, did you know you can catch the show live at 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. every Sunday morning? You can. All you have to do is go to my Facebook stream, Coach Linnell Harris, catch the stream live, or you can listen to the radio show via iHeart at WVON 1690 AM. But since you're here, if you love the content, I ask that you share it, like this particular video, and subscribe to the channel. I hope you're having a great day.